Welcome to Moon Harbor Extended. Today's issue is Cosmic, issue 16, The Weaver of Time. On the cover, we see Weaver sitting in a chair. His wrists and ankles are bound to the chair tightly, but his face wears a slightly amused, almost bored look. The team stands over him, mixes of determination and worry on their faces. We turn the page and our story begins. Our first panel of this comic is a nice outside shot of the USB floating in space. We get a editor's note that says a few hours after last issue. And at this point, you have Weaver locked in one of the rooms. Do you remember where you all have been keeping Weaver?
I don't think we specified.
Okay. Where have we been keeping Weaver?
We'd said it was one of the 4 of our ships. One of us had a containment-y thing going on there. It definitely wasn't my ship. I think it might have been Jet's ship.
Maybe it was Ovi's, since her ship has dimension shifting. So maybe the ship is kind of halfway between dimensions to keep Weaver stuck.
I'm cool with that.
I'm into that.
I work for everyone?
I'm into that if you're not going to use it to give him some sort of space-time dimensional powers.
He doesn't need any more powers. You're fine.
Yeah.
Cool. And where is the team at this point? Who's where?
I'm standing guard outside wherever he is. I'm doing sort of a paddle ball thing, except the string is made out of water, and I'm trying really hard to keep it intact, but it breaks apart.
That's kind of fantastic.
I think we're probably all over there, because I feel like this is the time for us to debrief, plan, prepare.
Does that sound good, Devlin?
I think I'm all over the place. I think there's 6 masons and 5 of them are doing cleanup jobs and stuff, scrubbing down everything.
You have that device you made last time to keep Weaver from being able to phase out of the ship. So I could see a mason keeping an eye on that closely as well.
Yeah, I think there's one mason that's doing that.
Yeah, maybe one mason is inside Ovi's ship versus us being outside of it.
Yep, that works for me.
And yeah, Ovi's with everybody else outside.
Cool. I'm going to turn this over to you all with whatever you want here.
Who does my ball hit?
I think it snaps off and gets caught in my gravity field that's around me and just starts floating in circles around my body. So when I was communicating with Weaver, I think I figured out what's going on with him and that whole situation.
Oh.
I think we shared memories, and I saw him essentially pop back to a different point in time. It's not that there are multiple Weavers, it's that there's one Weaver body that is doing a bunch of different things throughout a bunch of different or throughout the same timeline. It's a little bit confusing, but that moment where, Mason's people got into our timeline from the future, one of them got away. I thought I got all of them, but I didn't.
They're not my people. I can't do time travel. I think they're different.
Yeah, this is one of Mason's people from my time. They're a bit different.
I think we call ourselves the All. I think that's the way it translates.
Yeah, I just don't like saying it.
Mason shrugs.
One body in multiple places. I can't even... What does that even mean?
It means we can't let him do that again. It has to stop.
I don't know how many times he's done it before. I don't know how to stop it from happening again. But I assume if we can get back to that point in time and stop any and all Weavers, then it's done.
Well, 2 of us are experienced in time travel.
Also, as somebody who has come from the future to stop something from the past, that doesn't always work. Everything he's done has just speeded up the process. I don't know if going back to try to stop it is going to fix it or make things worse again.
I have one theory, though. The reason that I'm often in one body is because I get more powerful if I'm in one body. The more bodies I have, the less powerful I am. At my planet, nobody has powers because there's billions of us. So if we're lucky, there's only one Weaver. If we're unlucky, they figured out that they can split up and go fast distances and gain powers, and there might be more of them out there.
Why don't we focus on the one we have instead of the ones we don't know exist? We need to find out where and when he's been, what he's done, because we need to work to totally undo that. And we need to stop this from happening again. And I don't know how, but it has to be stopped. Otherwise, and we just see like trail off.
I mean, we could kill him.
If we're going to do that, we need to make sure we get all the information first. Killing Weaver, God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Killing Weaver in haste will ultimately hinder us more than it will help us.
No, I agree. This is totally new from my timeline. So we don't know what he's done yet, and that needs to get fixed as soon as possible.
There's also the issue that I don't know how long I'll be able to contain him.
So as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I can see, I should say, I see kind of two major problems. One, stopping Weaver from doing anything else, and two, remedying the situations that Weaver has already started in process.
Mason, if you feel like you can't contain him while we're trying to get information, you need to let us know, because I think that I would rather have less information than let him get away again.
That's fair.
We know that he can't jump while he's unconscious. We've seen that. Otherwise, he would have left when we had him before we brought him here. So there is the option of knocking him out and just communicating telepathically, talking to him unconscious. That way he can't get away.
Not all of us are able to do that, though.
Yeah, there's just the two. And I'm going to look directly at Mason. And one of the two of us kind of freaks out every single time. Mason, do you think you could handle that?
I don't think I can handle that.
There's sort of like a ball of water in Jet's hand. It looks like it was coiled together from watery string, and it just sort of explodes into... It just sort of crumbles into water at that. He's like, still, after all this time, grow some balls.
Look, there are plenty of people without balls who are incredibly confident and incredibly brave. Mason's just not one of them.
That's true.
Yeah, wrong choice of words.
I get you're scared, but you're the best person to be able to talk to him. Like, you know your people better than anybody, and like you're the best person for the job.
Yeah, but I really don't want to.
And we really want someone going in there who's going to freak out and run away. Like, if there's one thing we can rely on, it is that Mason is bad under pressure when it comes to this situation.
That's true.
Is that supposed to be helpful?
No, I just don't think Mason is the right person to go in there. If anyone else had telepathic abilities, they could go in with me, or Mason and I could go together if we needed to. But I think Mason going in there when we have a perfectly valid alternative is a bad decision on our part.
So Mal has the monster role. Am I connecting the dots? Can I roll to pierce the mask?
I think, yeah, go ahead and roll to pierce the mask.
Cool. Is that mundane?
Do you have a move for that?
There is one for piercing the mask of someone you believe will shape the future, where you roll plus savior instead of mundane, but my savior's worse.
Ah, okay.
So, which do you want me using?
Well, you don't have. You could just choose to pierce the mask then.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's going to be worse for you, just use the pierce the mask.
That is an 8.
I want to spend my influence to give that a -2.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
How would that work narratively?
What does the panel look like when you are piercing the mask, Ovi? Let's start there.
I think there's a bit of a flashback to when Ovi connected the dots to Mal being the monster. And then like her eyes widening a bit and then narrowing as she looks like intensely at Mal. And then I think she says, why are you so intent on Mason not going in there?
Because the last time Mason crossed paths with Weaver, when the whole team wasn't there, Weaver ended up in our timeline.
Mal, do you have any idea for what it looks like when you spend that influence? Because I have a suggestion if you don't have any ideas.
I think I'm just staring back like equally intensely at Ovi and just like not backing down.
May I toss out a suggestion? You can feel free not to use it.
Sure.
If you got brighter very slowly, like as Ovi is staring you down, with Ovi's like sensitivity to the light, that would be like using your knowledge of Ovi to push her off.
Oh, that'd be a dick move.
Yeah, that's really shitty. I don't think I'm quite up to that point yet.
Okay, cool.
I think it's more like I'm just like not breaking eye contact. I'm just like looking Ovi dead in the eyes.
I sort of want to just exchange glances with Mason during this. Like, jeez, what's with them?
Without looking away from Ovi, I want to be like, Mason already said he doesn't want to go in. Mason already said he's not going to be effective. Why are we going to put him in a situation where he's going to be uncomfortable, where he's inevitably going to freak and run and bolt and cost us our only opportunity?
Hey, Mason, you're only able to make clones of yourself in the dimension that you're in right now, right?
I don't think I've been in another dimension, so probably. I don't know.
Because Weaver's in my ship. What if we sent it to like a tiny pocket dimension and then he can't go anywhere so everybody can talk to him?
We could try that.
Ovi, why are you so dead set on me not going in there?
I'm not dead set on you not going in there. I just feel like it shouldn't be something that you do alone.
I could modify your ship to allow that if you want.
Out of character, I'll allow what? Because her character has, not her character, her ship has the dimension shifting.
Yeah, but to modify it to be more like a pocket dimension prison, I assume that I would combine like the mental power with the ship power and do that.
I mean, would that just fit under dimension shifting?
I mean, we wouldn't. I don't know if we would have to roll for it. I'm just proposing that like Mason be a mechanic because that's what Mason enjoys.
I think that's an icy question, and whether or not the ship can shift to a pocket dimension.
I think the ship can shift to a pocket dimension. I think a scene of Mason like affixing or like connecting that device that's been over the whole ship specifically to Ovi's and just that cell might work. The thing that's been keeping Weaver from being able to launch his consciousness out.
Okay.
Because I think that's over the whole ship. So maybe like if your pod shifted right now, it would not be connected to that device. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then maybe having the device only work on this smaller section versus the whole ship will make it last a little bit longer.
Yeah, it'll also, I think I pointed out before that anyone with telepathy right now can't reach outside the ship because of that device and vice versa. It's like right now, Mal and Mason also can't telepathically reach past the edge of the ship. So putting that on just your pod would stop that limitation as well.
I'm cool with that.
Cool.
So are you telling Mason to go ahead and start doing that?
Do you want to retake that with what we just discussed?
So I think I look at you and go, if you want, I could change your ship to be able to contain Weaver in there.
Is it the device already doing that?
Yeah, but now I've got it set up so it does the entire ship. So if you're going to shift it to a pocket dimension, I'm scared that it will just escape. So I could just edit it to just be your ship.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, Captain. I'll start working on it.
Good plan, Mason. That was really smart. Thank you.
Oh, I just realized that since Mal brought that down to a failure, that fills up my potential track.
Yeah. And Mason, that's something I think you're just going to be able to do, but it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Cool.
Because that would feel like making you have to re-roll the same thing again, you know?
Yeah, plus the only thing that I have in terms of like fun powers to do that is alien tech, but that would mean that our ship breaks down after using it. So that's
yeah. So I think like in the backgrounds of these next panels, we see like Masons in the ductwork doing their thing.
I get the feeling that during this, Jet has some time to think. He's sort of standing there, cross-armed in front of the door, and then you said that there's some sort of telepathic connection between me and Mason right now, or something.
Are you asking Mason, or are you asking?
I'm asking out of character.
I can extend that connection to anybody I want, because the connection you have with Mason at this point is just like, basically the wiring is there to use it, but that's it. If you want to go further and connect further to Mason, you have to do the mind touchy thing.
Well, basically what I'm thinking he would try to do is he would try to start doing whatever he did mentally that controlled Mason before, just to see what happens.
Yeah, something would happen. We can play that out.
Right. So I'd like to say you see a panel with him just like his eyes narrow, he's concentrating, and what happens?
Like staring hard at one of the masons.
Yeah.
I think you get like a visual of a giant door with a gigantic padlock on it.
Is this like in some sort of dream space?
I think it's just a visualization of the connection that we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, Mason.
I look over.
Remember that thing we did back there?
We've done a lot of things.
Oh, no, I'm thinking more like when it was like you were me, I was you.
Oh yeah, that was a fun time. We should do that again.
You know, I've just been thinking, would you be so afraid to go in there if it was me?
I'd be cool with that. Like, I wouldn't notice.
Okay, well, can't seem to get it to work right now, though.
Oh yeah, you need my permission to do that. I think I poof and a second Mason appears and I just give you control and you just get launched into this double vision thing.
Who? Right. That's how this is.
You hear yourself saying, right, that's how this is.
How does Mal see this series of events?
I was anticipating this happening like I'd imagine a time skip, and I'd imagine that I left. But if you want me to be there, I can still be there.
It would be more convenient if you were not there. Okie dokie. I don't know. Does Ovi want to be there and react or anything?
I mean, I think Ovi's spending the time like staying outside the door with the Mason working on the device. She's focused.
All right. Too bad I don't have insecure right now.
By focused, I mean too anxious to do anything else.
I'm half expecting Jet to start high-fiving himself at this point.
What do we want next?
Should I be keeping this like a secret from Mal? Should I just have Mason go in there right now or something?
Where is Mel right now? If Mel left.
I probably went to my room, like to my ship.
You said Ovi is with the Mason that's by the door to your ship / Weaver?
Yeah, the one working on the device.
Okay. And Jet and Mason Jet are in like what, the like kitchen common room, or are you two also at that door? Just so I know where everyone is.
I think we're in the common room, yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I would like to pilot him into the room.
Which room?
Into where we're holding him, or Ovi's ship.
I think we're still holding off on going in yet, if it's not, the device isn't fixed.
I mean, if you want to have this conversation, you could walk up. Ovi's there.
Yeah, hey, Ovi, does something seem a little off to you about Mal?
And you're talking through the Mason at this point?
I'm talking as Jet.
Aw, wanted to get Mason shenanigans.
Okay, I'm talking through the Mason.
So is it just a Mason that walked over and is talking in Jet's voice?
I think you see a Mason walk up. There's something like off about body posture and stuff like that.
It's got the Jet swagger.
Oh, God.
So yeah, Ovi would see this Mason walk up to herself and another Mason. And then, Jet, what was the line again?
Something seemed kind of off to you about all this.
Does the Mason talk in Mason's voice or Jet's voice?
I personally was imagining it with like Mason's voice, but like Jet's cadence. But I don't think that's my decision.
Yeah, same. That's what I was thinking too.
Okay. Hey, buddy, does something seem off to you about this?
Ovi, like, was watching the other Mason and, like, turns and, like, just kind of blinks in surprise. Wait, I'm sorry, what? What?
Yeah, I heard you two fighting for a long time. Just thinking, Mal is clearly not going to let Mason in, but, and right here's Mason referring to himself in the third person. But let's say that he was. Let's just say, what if he was already there?
What is happening?
Can I have the Mason walk over to the door, just like strut over there confidently to the door to Ovi's ship?
Yep.
And then kind of make some sort of like, hey, what do you think? Sort of motion.
I'm sorry. I feel like we've missed, like, I've missed something. Why is there a Mason that's acting and talking like Jet?
Hey, I'm controlling him. You finally see Jet's mouth open. It's a thing we did this.
Wait,
Come on, get used to it.
is that Jet's body yelling from like the common room?
Yes, you hear that from the common room.
I think we see a few panels of Obi going on like a face journey of confusion, concern, and then just being like, no, I actually don't want to know. Maybe we should ask Mason if he wants to go in too, because I'm hoping with a pocket dimension we can all go in.
And I think the Mason that's sitting next to you, that's working on door, goes, wait, are you asking me if you can also be me? Because I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I'd like having a Mason that's Mason too.
I mean, you heard Mal. I'm basically a coward. I'll probably run away.
I mean, if it's in a pocket dimension, you won't be able to.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to go into pocket dimension. I guess I could just poof if something goes wrong.
So here's the plan, right? We got a Mason already in there. Just bring this guy on in. Take that one out.
Is that I don't know, and I don't think I want to know how this works. If we go into a pocket dimension and actual Jet is not on the ship, would that connection break?
Well, pocket dimension wasn't my idea. The Jet Mason is then just kind of silent, still looking completely confident.
Because then if actual Jet isn't on there, then we might get left with a Mason who's on the ship that doesn't want to be there.
Mason just blankly stares into the room and goes, or you might be left with some sort of weird zombie Mason, which would be kind of cool. Should we try that?
Maybe another time?
I think Mason looks at the Jet Mason with like a facial expression that can only mean my people will talk to your people.
With the subtext, and all those people are me.
Yep. I think at this point, Mason looks up at Ovi and goes, Captain, I'm basically done here. So whenever we want to start it is fine by me.
Okay, cool. Let's get Mal and actual Jet, and we can get in the ship.
So we're all going in there?
I mean, Mason, I'd like if you came with us. I think eventually you're going to need to face this fear, but also if you're not comfortable and think you might be like a liability, then you don't have to.
I mean,
but I also don't want you to feel I don't want you to feel like you have to do this, but I also don't want you to feel that you shouldn't do this, because I think that's also a wrong thing to say.
So the only reason that I'm considering this is that I picked up a few new tricks when my mind made contact with Weavers, and I feel like I finally understand how my mind works, which is also why I think I want to visit my planet at some point, because I want to try something. So like I'm super scared, but I would go in there if you go in there.
Oh, yeah, I'm going in there. I want everyone to be able to talk and it not to be a telepathic thing.
Well, then I'm right behind you, Captain.
Can the Jet Mason just poof, and then Jet walks in with like fake tears in his eyes? Oh, that was so beautiful.
Delightful.
Hey, Mal.
We get a speech bubble coming from inside the ship that's like, be there in a minute. Can we get a cutaway panel inside the ship?
Absolutely.
Inside the ship, we see two things. First, we see Mal sitting there with the VR goggles on, and we see like that same field from earlier, like from like issue 1. But we see Mal not as like glowing person. We see Mal as like their human teenage body in this VR space, just like sitting in the field, running their fingers like through the VR grass. And then we cut out to see Mal's ship itself, and the entire thing is just filled with like burning stardust. Like the entire space of it is actively aflame.
What does human Mal look like? Because I don't think we've seen that.
Oh, you're right.
Human Mal is Navajo. They are roughly 5'7" dark hair worn in not braids necessarily, but like tight curls, one on each side, like slung behind the ear over the shoulder. And they wear like t-shirts and jeans and sneakers. They are very average across the board in terms of like they don't really have a defined aesthetic, because by the time like by the time they were starting to be old enough to like form an aesthetic, they were not a teenage, like they were starting to transform into the star. So they never had the chance to like experiment with fashion.
Oh,
I don't necessarily need me like walking over to join everyone before we go in. I think we can just like cut into the thing.
okay. So we're good to jump just everyone in that pod.
Yep.
And have you all hooked up Weaver to like some kind of like IV drip or something to keep him knocked out? How do we want to do that?
I thought since we had the whole like the ship is in a like big psychic bubble thing, that Weaver was just like chilling in Ovi's ship.
Okay, cool.
Definitely tied up.
I think that the Mason that is in there, the one, not the one that's going to be like the main character, but the one helping control the ship's abilities to stop Weaver. I imagine that he's like connected to the ship.
And I think Weaver isn't like just chilling. We've probably got him on like some kind of chair and like restrained.
Cool.
Right. When I was saying that, I meant like he's not like unconscious. We did not like walk in every 35 minutes and like punch him in the face to make sure he stayed unconscious.
Okay, cool.
But Jet did volunteer.
That feels about right. We turn the page. In our next panel, we see Weaver bound to a chair with a one of the Mason clones standing kind of like blank-eyed behind him. In our next panel, we see the four of you standing also in the pod, kind of cramped because these are fairly small. And you said you wanted to shift dimensions with it once you were in?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a roll for that. Just unleash your powers. Just a roll, whatever you want.
Yeah, I was trying to look to be like, okay, does that fit with curvy craft using superior? But then my superior is lower than my freak.
Yeah, you can do it with either the superior or the freak, because you could do it with the Kirby Craft move if you wanted, but you could just do a straight unleash if you want.
Oh, and I'm hopeless. Great. That's a 9.
We have one team in the pool, right?
Yes.
Do we want me to spend the team to bump that up to a 10 so it's not unstable or temporary?
I'd like that.
How would you help?
I think just kind of without saying anything, I was just going to like go and like stand next to Ovi and like start pressing levers and like flipping switches as we prepare the thing. Like this is something you could do with 2 people, but having a second set of hands makes it easier to like dimension shift.
Sure. So that's a 10. And then we get a panel of just that one pod floating in this. And like all of our space in this series has been very colorful and like very full of lights. And we just see it floating in just a pitch black panel with just nothingness all out to the sides. And then we cut back in.
Can I start off?
Sure.
I think Mason walks up to Ovi and stands in front of her, and Ovi can tell that he's about to do something, so this will not hit her out of the blue. And Mason looks her straight into the eyes, and she can't see his mouth speaking, but she can hear a voice that says, "Do you trust me?"
That's a good fucking question. She nods.
So Mason continues and goes, "If you want, I could protect you through all this way more than I can do now, but we'd have to share a connection. And I don't know if you're ready for that."
Protect from what?
I could protect you mentally.
From what?
This conversation's been Mason talking in Ovi's mind, right? Or are you speaking out loud?
I'm speaking directly into Ovi's mind, yeah.
Okay. And I think in both of your minds, you hear Weaver's voice say, "He means from me."
And I think as Weaver says that, like there's a sharp cutoff, like at the end of a sentence. And I look at Ovi and go, I can keep him out. He won't get in, but he might get in your mind.
Okay, just for this conversation, okay?
Okay. And I think Mason extends both his hands, and you can take him if you want.
She'll take one hand.
Okay. So I'm going to invoke my touched traits, which is like part of the playbook, and I'll read for the listeners too how that one goes. But true friendship goes deeper for you. You can ask people you trust completely to become an extended part of yourself. Ask their permission and touch your minds together. Describe which deep aspect of your personality or secret you're sharing with them. So the way it works is that you basically have power over me now. It's less in the other direction. But I shared all that I am with you because I feel a connection to you. And I think as we share hands, you can see an image of like a tiny mason that is like, you get the emotions of this mason, and the emotions that you're getting is that this mason is super scared of not being himself, not being unique, and not getting to be like his full potential.
And I think Ovi shares an emotion of like, I think kind of like the rush of memories from the end of the last issue of realizing that things, like the series of events have been accelerated and that time is running out, and just kind of like trying to express this like emotion of like staying strong and trying to work through it.
I think Mason smiles at you and looks at you and says, "Let's do this, Captain," and then starts walking towards Weaver.
And unless you want any response there, I'm going to shift over to see what Mal and Jet have been doing during this.
Go for it.
Oh, and I think that last one was like allowed, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Well, I think Jet is looking up, very surprised at Mason walking up. You just see him there with like the Eiffel Tower strings of water in his hands.
Did I just get dumped? Mal, what are you doing?
Weaver's speaking threw off what I was going to be doing, so I'm not sure.
You didn't hear that? If that changes anything?
My plan was as soon as I walked in the room, I was going to connect with Weaver and start talking telepathically with Weaver. But if Weaver is talking in Mason and Ovi's head, Weaver isn't paying attention to me.
Oh, no. You can absolutely do both.
Cool. So I think we get like the same kinds of panels. We see like everything that was happening with them. And we see me like at the controls. And there's like a telepathic panel that like pops up and is like, "We're about to interrogate you. I want more information on you being able to help me."
So you hear in your mind, I can do better than information. I can give you proof. And then we get a series of like flashes of this alien race that's very like otter based, and just seeing these experiments on subject after subject that look to have the same like transformation that Stardust has. And then you see the breakthrough where they cure this. And then you see them package it into a single vial, label it Mal, and put it in a locking vault. Because the cure has already been made. Let me out, and I'll get it to you.
That doesn't look like humans that they're experimenting on. How do I know that's not going to obliterate my physiology?
It works. And what are your other options? And I will let you know that reaching in, he at least believes he is speaking with absolute honesty.
Where is it?
Let me out first.
You know I can't do that with everyone in here.
You'll get it once I'm free. I have no reason not to give it to you. Once you have it, you're not a threat to me.
I think that's when Mason says, "Let's do it, Captain," or whatever he said. And I like turn away from the dials of the machine of the spaceship and like walk. So I'm standing behind Weaver, like probably near where Jet is.
And I think we get this panel of Mason stepping forward with Ovi right behind him. And then Weaver turning to meet Mason's eyes with just not even a wicked grin, a just honestly delightful grin. Looks at Mason and then says out loud, "I guess you're here to question me? What do you want to know? I'm an open book. It really doesn't matter anyway."
I think Mason frantically looks around him for anyone else to ask a question.
What have you been up to? What like awful things have you been setting in motion? We need to know all of it.
How much time do you have? I've been planting seeds all across the universe. You can't beat me. You can just slow me down. If you'd like to go ahead and roll up your mask and just use that hold whenever you want through this conversation, go ahead.
Okay. Oh my God, that's 10.
All right. So you've got 3 hold. Just spend them whenever you want, whenever feels appropriate through the conversation.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, are you like under the impression that we're letting you go after this or something? Because no, you're done. You're not ending the world again.
It doesn't matter when. Eventually, I'll get out and I'll just keep working. And until then, my seeds continue to grow.
Can I think I want to create like a jet mason, because Weaver would immediately understand what it is I'm doing. And my guess is that that's not something that Weaver can do. and I kind of want to do it like as a flex to show how powerful I've become.
Cool. Are you trying to just get a reaction out of him?
I think I'm trying to intimidate him, but I don't know which move that is exactly.
Go ahead and roll to provoke while you do this. Like, it's going to happen one way or the other. It's going to use the provoke to like see what kind of reaction you get.
That's a 9. So I think I just make that happen, and I think it's up to Jet. If you want, you could push that up to a 10. If you like, depending on what you want to do with it.
We don't have any team left, right? Yeah.
Right.
I am way too busy with these strings.
So it's a 9, and you get thrown into the double vision thing again.
Okay, I think there's a very dramatic panel of I've got a water yo-yo, and it just explodes. Okay, I guess we're doing this now.
And Weaver's head snaps over to look at this. And Mason, while you're watching him, you see a genuine sadness in his eyes. And also a surprise at it very clearly being Jet inhabiting that. He goes, oh, that's new. I do miss that. And I think at this moment, you can definitely confirm that Weaver can't clone himself at all. I'm also having them stumble, so you take a +1 forward on them.
I think I look at Ovi and go, oh, that's interesting. He can't clone himself at all.
Good to know. I would like to spend one of my hold. How could I get your character to tell us everything that you have set in motion?
I'm not sure how to give this like in character, so I'm going to tell you out of character.
Okay.
You realize that he will probably freely tell you a lot of the things he's done, but you could never trust him to tell you everything. You would have to go into his mind to get that information. Great.
I guess, Mason, since we have this connection, are we able to talk telepathically securely?
Yeah. Like I've probably keep like a super open connection to you at this point, so you could probably do whatever I do with Jet, you can probably do something like that, or you can just talk to me or whatever you want.
Yeah, Ovi doesn't want to control Mason, but she does want to convey that answer to Mason that eventually somebody is going to need to get into his brain.
Yeah, I think we get like a thought bubble that's connected to both of your minds.
Oh, I like that visual.
Maybe written in like these font to be like bolder, and Ovi's to be like maybe like a light purple. So maybe like a bold light purple when it's the shared thoughts. Does that work?
Works for me.
I like that.
I think on seeing that, like, I can do things that Weaver can't, and he's not just the strong monster that I've been assuming, because that image has been cracking in the past few issues.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with this connection that I have with Ovi right now, I think I feel emboldened enough to look at Ovi and send back mentally that I'm ready for it, if that's what Ovi wants.
Since there's this telepathic connection now, I think Ovi sends like the memories that she got from remembering Mal's future self to Mason. And it's just like, it has to be you.
And I think I said back, together we can stop that from happening as a team.
Mason, do you want to roll to comfort or support with that?
Sure. I wonder how my roll even works. But, a 0. That's okay.
+1 from influence.
6 was worth trying.
Well,
I think at this point I'm just going to have it not have a mechanical effect, and we'll just move on.
Yeah, I feel like Ovi's very strained right now, and it makes sense that she's not going to get any mechanical benefits from that.
So it sounds like Mason/Ovi are going to be touching Weaver's mind. Does anyone want anything before then?
Jet Mason's got to say, yo, boss, you want me to do anything with this? Presumably as Mason doesn't even notice or care.
Yeah, I think Mason just looks to Jet and goes, I don't know, he's Hugh.
Is anyone going to tell us that Mason's going to connect to the mind? Or are we just all just going to stand here in the silence?
That's up to Ovi, of course.
I think Ovi says out loud, look, we really can't trust anything that you say, and we need to know all of these seeds that you have planted. We need to know where, what, everything. So Mason's going to ask a couple questions.
And Weaver smiles, because may the strongest mind win.
Is this us entering a battle against a dangerous foe as a team?
I'm okay with doing that to build some team.
Yeah, I think we'll need that.
All right.
Also, I think my Mason Jet clone gives Jet some psychic powers, like at least some awareness and stuff like that.
Everyone but Mal's connected into Weaver's mind.
So the opposite of what Mal was planning at the beginning.
For what it's worth, I'm also connected into Weaver's mind, just not on the same connection that you all are.
That's fair.
Yeah, Mel can just jump in.
Who is the leader?
Hey, Mason.
Not Jet.
Ovi.
I feel like it's Ovi because this is the first time that Ovi just straight up is embracing the captain role.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, conveniently, the advancement that I took was captain from the protege playbook. When you enter battle as a team, add an extra team to the pool and carry +1 forward if you are the leader.
So that puts us to 3 so far. Do you have influence over every teammate?
No, I do not.
Not at all.
What is your purpose in this situation?
Get the information we need from Weaver.
So like primary.
Yeah, primary is getting the information. I think eventually finding a solution, like finding a way to like stop him from doing anything else. But right now we need information because I think having a conversation about what to do with him would be like a totally different scene.
Yeah, I think so too. And just to be 100%, specifically what he has done so far.
Yes.
Is the focus. Okay, cool. Mason.
Yeah, I share that intention.
Jet.
Yep.
Mal.
I wonder why you saved me for last year.
Oh, it was just going in a reverse alphabetical order, but mixed up a bit.
I want to look very actively like I'm helping the team.
Okay, cool. So that sounds like a no. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
Yep.
I mistrust Mal.
All right. Would you like to take a condition to stop removing a team for that?
Yes, I'm just trying to pick one.
All right.
I'm going to mark afraid.
And is your team ill-prepared or off-balance?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think we couldn't have prepared more than we already did.
Cool.
Might have over-prepared.
3 team.
I like how one of that team was me marking a condition and another one was it was a move that I only just got.
Oh, yeah. If you were not the leader, I think this would be 1 team. All right. Mason, what do you do?
I think Mason walks up to Weaver like as confidently as Mason can muster right now and kneels in front of Weaver. And I think both his hands are strapped down, right? So I think I put my hands on his hands and close my eyes. I think I open a connection between my mind and Weaver's mind. And I also open the connection for Ovi. And I leave like 2 tendrils open for like Jet and Mal. Like Mal as a telepathic user would sense that tendril being there in case they want to jump in. And Jet would feel this as like an instinctive thing to grab and jump in if he wants to.
Okay, excellent. And I have a custom move for you. When you telepathically connect with Weaver, roll plus superior. And sorry, I don't have this one typed up. I'll make sure I do that for next session.
That's an 8.
Okay, on a hit, you maintain control. On a 7 to 9, it costs you. Pick one. You can either mark a condition, or you can pick a teammate you have influence over, and Weaver will take influence over that teammate.
I think it seems logical that I would take afraid too.
Okay. We get this panel of Weaver still tied to this chair, but just floating in this void white space. And Mason like stepping forward into this white space. And then these tendrils, like the 3 tendrils leading off behind. Who else steps into this space, like actively connecting? I'm going to allow you to like use the same result there from Mason. Like you don't have to roll the move.
What is in there?
I'm going to reach out and grab this ethereal tendril thing.
Jet, do you want to show up in like a Jet Mason hybrid form or just in Jet form? Like, what do you look like in your mind form?
I grabbed it with the Mason.
And Mal.
I'm going to go in there as well.
Okay. So you're all in my mind. What now?
Now we start looking. Whether you want to show that to us and be, honest, or whether we have to go digging is your choice.
You want to see my seeds? You want to see what I've been spreading across this world, this universe? Here. And I think all of you are just hit with floods of images of just planet after planet that you see Weaver just taking steps to start taking over the populace on.
Can I roll to take a powerful blow here?
Sure.
This is a lot of sensory overload. And also, this is like, here's how I'm going to cause your future.
It's a sensory overload, lots of personal doom, little mixture.
I have a question for Ovi, actually, out of character.
Oh, thank fuck.
Does Ovi know anything from the future about like other planets?
Possibly. We haven't really looked into that.
Interesting. Okay.
That was a 6. Thank God.
So, first, Mal, would you like to spend a team to push that up? I know I always ask as a joke, but I might actually be serious here.
Nope. As I mentioned, I'm going to try my damnedest to look like I'm helping the team here.
What are you trying to do, Ovi? Maybe I'll help out.
No!
It
was not the powerful blow.
Oh, it's a powerful blow. Okay, yeah. That was like 2 minutes ago. That's way too long ago for me to remember.
On a miss, you stand strong, mark potential as normal, and say how you weather the blow.
So I think we see a panel of like physical Ovi in the ship who's like very vacant eyes. Since like she's mentally in this like mind space, but we see her with like some kind of like she's got like a keyboard, and like we see her like starting to type some of the things being seen and trying to take notes.
Okay, excellent. You see, I'm not lying when I say you can't win. You can just slow me down. 113 planets. That's what I'm at so far.
Did anybody bring like their camera? We just film all this.
Oh, I'm taking notes.
I will say that with research and time, like from what you've seen, you will eventually be able to get this full list. Like you've accomplished that goal of at least having this full list and being in his mind. You're certain he's being honest about this is what he's done so far.
I think at this point, like Mason has been in the shadows a bit to everyone else. And at this point, I think Mason steps forward and it's like buff Mason. It's the only way to describe it. And I think like from Mason's hand grows this spear that is the same white that Mason is. And I think Mason splits in like 4 guards and posts at like 4 directions of Weaver's mind avatar.
Excellent. I like that image.
And I would like to ask, or like spend one of my other Pierce the Masks hold. What are you really planning?
You see, do you say anything there, or do you want to ask that like out of character?
I think out of character, maybe like being able to see from all of the images that he's like shoved at us.
Okay, excellent. I think we get some panels of you like focusing on one of these images, and you realize that you can kind of trace through his thoughts off of a central point, and you see his plans of these these seed planets eventually fully converting to creatures under his control and then spreading out and starting other seed planets. His basic plan is he has personally set up a lot of these, and he doesn't think that any of you can stop him from just spreading out. He's kind of told you his plan. He's just going to keep colonizing off of these planets and taking over more and more planets. It's like a Grey Goose scenario, but with social engineering.
Cookies.
Mal, you hear a voice just in your head from Weaver. So have you considered it?
Give it time.
All you need to do is kill this body, and I'm free. You have a famously bad temper. They won't suspect you.
I said, give it time.
He meets eyes with Ovi and says, "So, what's the plan, Captain?"
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets, TB Huth, and Elliot Peterson, and edited by Anthony Sheets and Sean Geddes. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at icynewyear.com. T is a theater artist and educator in the DC area. She can be found at thuthplaywright on Twitter or tphuth94 on Instagram. Elliot can be found at Elliot Yellen on Twitter. That's ELLIOTYLEN. Sean can be found at The Crumpit, THECRUMPIT, on Twitter. Moon Harbor Heroes is played using Masks: A New Generation, written by Brendan Conway and produced by Magpie Games. The music in this issue is Work by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. This issue is GM'd by Anthony Sheets. Stardust is played by T. Huth. Portali is played by Elliot Peterson. Jet is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at itsexphp on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Mason is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him as at Gilbereka, GILBERREKE on Twitter. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out at patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus issues each month. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.
God, what was the name of like the black hole they become?
Oh God, I don't remember.
It was a really cool name.
Singularity?
Nah, that wasn't it.
I'll have to go through. I don't remember at all.
The gray?
It was definitely a name like related to being a black hole. It was really good.
Melanie,
I can't remember.
I got nothing. I'm so sorry.
As I am not the one editing extended, I'm not that worried about it. Sorry, Sean, I love you.